Hey guys, welcome back. We are still continuing doing question 2 of the November 2016 paper. We have just answered 2.1.1 as well as 2.1.2. And then in this question, we'll be moving on to answer 2.1.3. And then further to that, we'll also answer the question 2.2, which is on VAT. So we'll try to put these in the same video. And then after that, we'll move on to the next question of the paper. All right, let's get into it. So the first question that we're going to be answering in this video is calculate the percentage of debtors complying with the credit terms. And then following that, explain 2 measures to improve the collection from debtors. So let us go ahead and see how we can calculate this. So here we are given a debtor's age analysis, and we're told that the credit period is 60 days. So you give your creditors 60 days to pay, and there's people who are owing for 61 to 90 days, and some people are owing for more than 90 days. So the ones that are actually in compliance, which you're trying to calculate the percentage for, are the ones that are on current and the ones that are on 30 to 60 days. And the total debt is 201,200. So in order to calculate the percentage, you'd have to take the ones that are within their credit terms, which is 35,300 plus 23,300, and then you'd have to divide that by the total debt, which is 201,200, and then you would get a total of 29.1%. All right, so that is the first question, just taking the 35,300, adding the 23,000, dividing that by the total debt, multiplied by 100. You must add to multiply by 100 there. Multiply by 100. And then you'll have 29.1% of the people that are compliant with their credit terms. And then the following question, it says, explain 2 measures to improve the collection from debtors. Can be anything, sending out reminders on time, offering discounts, higher discounts for early payment, charging interest, anything that you can think of. So the ones that I think of, it's monthly statements must be sent via email and post on time. The other one, charge interest for late payments, give higher discounts for debtors who pay early, encourage debtors to pay via a debit order. So these are the possible things that the company can do in order to be able to improve the collection. I think the most important though is encouraging people to pay via debit order, because if it's via debit order, then it just goes off their bank account whenever they get paid. That amount just goes off and gets paid quickly. It's no hassle, no need for reminders. You may want to give a reminder so that you make sure that they have a positive balance by the time that debit order needs to go off. All right. And then we're done with 2.1, and then now we're moving on to 2.2. So 2.2, this is a question that is on VAT. The information below relates to creamy traders for their 2-month VAT period ended 31 August 2016. And then they say all items are subject to 14% VAT. And then they say calculate the amount receivable from or payable to SARS for VAT on the 31st of August 2016. Indicate whether the amount is receivable or payable. You may complete a VAT control account. So you may want to do a VAT control account. I don't really have something to draw, so I'm just gonna calculate an amount by amount basis. So first thing that they gave you, an amount owed to SARS for July 2016. So that's where we'll be starting from. So we have a liability of 14,250. So if our SARS liability increases, I will say plus, and if it decreases, I'll say minus. So that's how I'm going to be approaching this question right here. So the first detail there, it says merchandise purchased, or rather expenses paid. The amount excluding VAT is 198,000. The amount including VAT is 225,720. And then the VAT there would be the difference between the two amounts, which is 27,720. So if you buy goods and you pay VAT and you're a VAT vendor, what do you get? You get VAT input. VAT input is an asset, and therefore it reduces your liability to SARS. So the SARS liability in this case would start to go down. So we'd have minus 27,720, right? And then moving on, they say goods taken by owner for personal use. So when goods come out of the business, that creates a VAT output. So whenever you sell goods or the owner take goods for personal use, that creates VAT output. So VAT output is a liability, so it would increase our liability. And therefore, what I will do here is, if I'm increasing the liability, I'm going to say plus 2,940. And then the following transaction that we've been given is returns by debtors. So think about it this way when it comes to return by debtors. So when we sell to debtors, what happens is that we charge output VAT, obviously. So it increases our liability towards SARS. Now that they return, well, we no longer have that liability to SARS anymore. So those returns, and we also just given the VAT amount. So we'll just take the VAT amount as it is, and it reduces our liability towards SARS. So I'll use a minus on that one. So I'll use a minus on this one and say minus 1,000, sorry, minus 1,120. And then moving on, here you have debtors accounts written off. So this is actually similar to the returns by debtors, because what happens is that you sell to a debtor, you charge an amount of VAT, and then you don't end up actually getting that money. So if you don't get that money, when you write them off, you can ask back for the tax from SARS. So that reduces the tax liability then. And then to calculate the amount for VAT, obviously this excludes VAT. So you'd say 9,500 multiplied by 14%, and then you would get an amount of 1,330. An amount of minus, so obviously we did say it reduces our liability towards SARS, so minus 1,330. And then last but not least is the total sales. So total sales, we all know that output VAT comes mainly from sales. So if we're selling and then we collect VAT from customers, it means we owe that VAT then to SARS. So in this case, we've been given an amount that is including VAT at 14%. And therefore, what we just need to do is to say 332,880 multiplied by 14 divided by 114, and that will give us an amount of 40,880 for VAT. So that will be an amount of 40,880 for VAT. And then if we calculate that, it will give us an amount of 27,900 for an amount. So this amount obviously comes out positive, which means that this amount is an amount that is payable, because we started with the payable amount that was positive. So we'll say payable, indicate that payable to SARS. All right, someone else may have drawn a VAT control account. That also works. Depends what works for you and what you understand. Yeah, and we'll end the lesson there. Please join us in the next lesson. Hope you did enjoy. If you did, make sure you like, you comment, you subscribe, and you share the video with your friends that might need the help. Cheers for now.